I just had a thought. Why does greed exist? Everything's temporary, and all that they're doing is making life harder for everyone other than them. In fact, what are you going to buy with $3 trillion? What are you going to buy? Because buying temporary media, sure, it doesn't really get into all the nitty-gritty, and it won't be able to be passed down through all the generations. But then you have, why are they hoarding the wealth? Why? Because they can have wealth. But why? Look! Being a fucking 5-year-old can put into jeopardy why the hell greed exists. Why do you have $1 trillion for financial stability? But that's a lot. Yes, it's to make sure that we're ready for the future. What future is there gonna be if all of the money is going into, like, a couple of people? Adults say, like, oh, this generation's gonna be lazier than ever. What about when we can't afford rent? Because, here's the thing. If the bottom class goes, then the entire structure falls. Because if the bottom class isn't working, then how are the rich going to get their money? Because suddenly all the consumer brands aren't consumers anymore. Don't have any consumers anymore. Housing market collapses due to everyone being homeless. Thus, that means that there's no money circulating. Thus, economic collapse. Look at that. Why are people hoarding wealth? Donate that shit. Why? I just can't wrap my head around it. The most expensive thing I can really think of is like $100 other than rent. Sorry, not 100, about like $1,000 other than rent. And rent is just increasing like it's a fucking X squared graph. So, what do you want me to do with this? Where am I going with this? We're not gonna have an economy if all of it collapses. Wages aren't increasing. There is just a rising house market, so we can't just buy into it. We can't do anything other than rent, and rent is increasing exponentially. So, the rich wants the poor to do nothing for nothing, and with that, it just collapses. Everything's based on the bottom. And when the bottom falls, top